Our next guest has conquered every single industry that I can think of in the entertainment world. Here's a quick clip to remind you of this #1 chart. Leslie, the bet's still on. You've got to get a #1 singer. Here's mine today. Everyone knows this song. This is Michael Damian.
Hey kids, rock and roll, rock on, ooh my soul. Hey kids, boogie to did ya? Hey shout, summertime blues, jump up and down in my blue suede shoes. Hey kids, rock and roll, rock on.
Hey Steve, rock and roll, rock on.
Now, do you ever wake up and want to get that hair and just go one day, I'm going to get rock on hair today. I'm going to come out, just put it up.
If you would have seen my hair earlier, you would have been, yeah, it was not good. Janine, my wife went, and then it's like,
Did some magic.
Yeah, she went.
Michael Damian, who we've got a lot to cover. I mentioned all the things he's conquered. I mean, it's unbelievable. In the 80s, a #1 song with Rock On. We have Joseph, the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat on Broadway, playing the lead in that, of course. #1 show on television in daytime, Young and the Restless, for years.
Wow. My head is.
I know. I mean, and now you're conquering film and television, producing. It's been what, like 8 or 9, 10 years you've been producing movies and crushing it. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. This is a great ego boost. I'm really feeling
That's
good.
it. The interview's over. Thanks for coming on. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so
Michael
much.
Damian.
You got it. The only thing I haven't conquered yet is juggling. I've got to try to find a way to juggle because.
Well, you have a lot of jobs. You're
know.
juggling life.
I know. I want to figure out how to juggle. That's the only thing I don't know how to do yet.
Michael, you're so creative though. How do you divide your time? Because I see a piano in the back. I mean, between music, film, television, do projects come to you, or are you just constantly evolving?
Well, you really have to go after them. I have to say, going way back to the Young and the Restless, getting the job on the show. I mean, they were not looking for me. It just happened. I had a hit single on American Bandstand, Dick Clark's show. She Did It. Steve, do you remember She Did It? She did it. She did it. Okay. Anyway, producers of Young and the Restless saw me on American Bandstand, said, "Hey, we should write a character of a singer, struggling waiter singer, wants to be a superstar." And they called me. The thing is, you got to be ready for it. I got the call. They said, "Oh, by the way, do you act?" And I was like, "Of course I do." Come on. I'm acting right now. Anyway, when they call and they say, "Oh, can you act?" You say, "Yes, of course you act." If I would have said, "Well, no, not really. Actually, I'm kind of nervous about that," they would have hung up on me. So you kind of have to seize the moment. And, that, of course, started so many things for me because the character Danny Romalotti on Young and the Restless was a singer. And so then I was able, and Young and the Restless was wonderful because they let me do the concert tours. Nobody else had a deal like this. I could leave on Thursday, do concerts Friday, Saturday, Sunday, fly back home, do the show on Monday. They were incredible. Even through the whole Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat situation, they let me do the show and flew back and forth. Of course, when we went to Broadway, that couldn't really work because of the long distance. But for the LA run, they would shoot all my scenes in the morning because we opened at the Pantages Theater because the theater in New York wasn't available yet. And so, but to answer your question, you just really have to, when you see opportunity, you got to be ready. And you have to also sometimes, create a few cracks in doors and windows to seize the opportunity.
What's funny is he pays it forward because I don't think you know this story, Leslie or Cubby. When I met Michael in around 89, this is when he had the #1 song. We became fast friends. And when he was single, I would go out to LA and stay in his guest house. And Barnesology was already in full motion like that. We were hanging out, having fun. Michael's like loving Hollywood. He's like all over the place. And he says to me, can you act? I'm like, of course I can act. Same thing.
See? So you did it, Steve.
Damian got me my first television job on The Young and the Restless in 1991.
I remember that, by the way. I remember you telling me about that. Wow. I had it on. I VHS'd it and everything.
Wow. So what Michael doesn't know is that day is so vivid to me because I was nervous. I was playing an executive at Jabot Cosmetics. And
yeah, you did well, by the way.
It was awful. It was my first job.
No, it was good.
So we're at Michael's house. I remember he lived on Kilkea in LA.
Yep. Great memory. Wow, Steve.
We got in your Ferrari. I mean, talk about feeling like you're all of a sudden like in television. We get in this Ferrari and we're blazing down these side streets and we arrive at CBS Television City and Michael's hair's flowing in the wind. We're in the convertible. He's got like $5,000 sunglasses on and we're like going to the gate and it's, hello, Mr. Damian. It's like James Bond. And we go in and he's like, here's your dressing room. It's like this apartment. It was bigger than my apartment in Kansas City. It's like, here's your dressing room. Just put that suit on. You'll be ready. I'm like, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. But anyway, I'll never forget that. That was such a snapshot of an entrance into getting a job like that. It was unbelievable. So
Michael, look what you've created. You've created a monster.
Yeah, you created a monster.
I love it. I love it. We had so much fun, Steve.
It was a blast.
Hanging out in the glory 80s. Those were, the end of the 80s. That was
you should
really
see women
time.
look at him, though. We would go into a store and they'd be like, Kenny Romalotti's here.
Exactly.
He's here.
He still gets that, by the way, Barnes.
Yeah. Yep. My mom,
I
all the
actually
time.
do have.
Yes. Tell me.
I have two. I'm sorry, I'm stepping all over you.
No,
Sorry,
hit me.
No, I was going to say I have two questions about some of your older music, and then we're going to get to all the future stuff. But Rock On, I was a baby DJ in 1989 and working in radio, and Rock On was like one of my favorite songs. It was a terrible DJ song, by the way, because it was only 2 minutes and 45 seconds, so I couldn't take a leak. But there's the beginning of it right there. Did you ever hear from David Essex?
Yes.
When you were, what was his opinion of your version, and did you hear from him before you recorded or after it went number one?
After it went number one.
Yeah, because he was getting paid.
Okay, your crazy story. He may not. Probably doesn't want this out there, but what the heck? We could talk about it anyway. It's been a while. David came to LA, and we got together, and we had such a great time. We were hanging. He's in my music video. This is a follow up. Oh my gosh,
Cover of Love.
Cover of Love. Thank you. He's in the video. If you watch Cover of Love, did you see him in it?
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
No, I didn't see him in it, but I did have a question about that song after you finished this little conversation here about Rock On.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Get this. You're not even going to believe it. A month before I released the record, David Essex, just so you know, didn't own any of the publishing. He had sold it.
What?
A month before the release, he didn't know about the release. He bought all of it, reverted back to him. So it was basically it was like a celebration lunch because he said, I want to thank you because I got all my publishing back before you released the record and cha-ching.
Wow.
You know, so
did he even go to number one?
No, his was number 4.
No.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. So great time with him. Wonderful person. And I said, hey, I'm shooting a video this week. He's like, oh, absolutely. You want to come down and watch? No, watch. I want you in it. Oh, great. I'd love to be in it. So he came down and went and was in the video, did a little cameo. But yeah, that was a very special time hanging out with him. And right when the record was on the radio too, which was really fun.
The other question I had too on streaming services, Spotify, iHeartRadio, the company I work at, the original version of Rock On is hard to find, and I cannot find Cover of Love, which is also one of my favorite songs. I had a CD single forever, but can't find so are you in charge of that? Like it says Michael Damian Rock On 09. That's the version on Spotify.
Well, what happened was A&M Records disappeared. And so did, I don't even know
who has the masters because you could be making money, Michael.
Well, what happened was we re-recorded. That's what we did. We redid it in 09 because A&M, this is all before the digital era, the streaming and the whole, and so there was nothing out there, nothing available. So that's why we re-recorded. I did not re-record all the other tracks that you're talking about. It's a great idea because A&M is gone and nobody can tell us. We've tried to find out where the masters are. Nobody knows anything.
You'd be like Taylor Swift and just re-record all your old stuff. Just
got to redo it. Yeah. So we got to do that. It is kind of wild, isn't it? People have asked, well, I can't buy this. This isn't streaming. I'm like, well, A&M Records doesn't exist anymore. So
I do have to ask, and I want to talk about your new movie, but you had such an iconic role all those years in Young and the Restless. And, you know, for all of those soap fans, because I loved the Young and the Restless and GH and, you know, diehard fans.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, still to this day, because you were on for so many years, I don't know if those shows are streaming anywhere or if people have access to watch them, but you have to still get stopped every day, right? About your iconic character.
Well, usually it's police pulling me over for a speeding violation when I'm stopped. But no, I don't speed anymore. I never speed. No. I drive very safe. Well, first of all, because of the pandemic, they've rerun all the old episodes. They've been doing the last 7 months reruns. So all of a sudden, it's like I'm back in 1985, 1990, it's crazy. So that's been really fun, reliving and revisiting all those old episodes. I think now they're shooting now, so they're I don't think they're rerunning them like they did for the last 5-6 months. But it was a really wonderful experience because I think at that time, soap operas, well, actually they were at their absolute prime. This is before all of the reality shows,
yes,
and before all the people got into different reality TV that it was like a soap opera, a real soap
absolutely.
opera. You know what I mean? So those didn't exist back when I was on Young and the Restless. So if you wanted that kind of escapism, and that was where you found it on Young and the Restless. And colleges were obsessed with Young. In fact, I know so many college students like yourself and Steve and
yes,
that work their classes. I've had so many people, by the way, I scheduled all my classes around Young and the Restless. Because, back then nobody could record anything.
Right.
Have you ever tried, did you try recording with those VHS machines back then? I mean, did you ever figure out the timer? Because I never figured out how to do it.
So tough. You're like laying
they
on the floor.
all the wrong stuff.
Yeah, you were part of people's lives on a daily basis. So people they arranged their classes around Y&R.
Yeah.
And those shows,
crazy.
it's still number one. Young and the Restless is still number one on
Still number
daytime.
one. Yep.
Which, I mean, that's unbelievable. What a run. Do they still call you every now and then to come back?
They did. They called me for an anniversary. They called me for the anniversary, I think it was. And then they called me for another a sad situation when Jeannie Cooper passed away.
Oh, right.
And I was filming, I was directing High Strung, or was it High Strung Free Dance? I was doing something out of the country, when they asked if I was available. And I've always, my dialogue with the show is, if I'm in town, if I'm not directing a movie, absolutely, I'll be there. So just I just hope it times out whenever they, and then when they call, I've got to be available to do it. But I can't commit to something that, if I'm directing a movie or out of the country.
You've always been a performer. And whether it's music, which you have a very musical family, I don't know if people know, like his brothers. I mean, all these guys are have music studios and all this stuff. And then actor, of course, and then on Broadway, which is a whole different kind of acting. At what point did you visually know I want to direct? Like, when did you want to leave that behind, so to speak, and focus on producing movies? What triggered that?
I think that started with, first of all, I've been observing directors all from day one. And on the set, I asked a million questions every day. I wanted to know why we were doing this, why it was shot that way. And I wanted to know as an actor, right? But I didn't know that I was actually learning all these different techniques to later put them into play as a director. So I was just sort of subconsciously learning. But then when I decided that I wanted to, Janine and I, my wife and I, were reading, I would get these scripts and, from my agent, and I'm thinking, wow, God, this is so bad. So we started writing together. I mean, we just felt, we could do something special. And so we started writing together to create a project for me. And then what happened was we created a television series in France called Red Eye, and with the French network. It was a pilot for an English speaking television series. And, we actually couldn't afford a director because we had very limited money for the pilot. So we had a meeting with everybody, the production company, we were a French company, and everybody in France and that was involved with the project. And they said, we have made a decision. We know who's going to direct the movie. Who? You. I'm like, me? Yes, we know. I can tell you could do it. So that's a bad accent, but I'm trying. But you will do it. I swear. No. So anyway, that was kind of the beginning where that's where it really happened. Unfortunately, the series things changed. The French network decided then that they didn't want to actually do it in English. And of course, I'm starring in it too, by the way. But I don't speak fluent French, so I'm like, wait a minute.
Now you're out.
We only want to do English. I'm like, well, so I didn't make the cut. So anyway, so the show that to make a long story even longer, that was sort of the startup. And then Janine and I kept writing, and we wrote a horse script because Janine was a big equestrian back in the day. She used to ride. And so, because somebody said, hey, we're looking for a horse movie. And so we wrote Moondance Alexander that was bought by Fox. And then 20th Century Fox said, would you like to do the Flicka franchise for us? And so we said, yes, we'd love to. So we did that. And then they said, well, we want to reboot Marley and Me. And so could you do the prequel to Marley and Me? And then that was kind of that's when it just started happening. And then we did A Princess for Christmas that became with Sam Heughan, which this is before Highlander, with the late, great Sir Roger Moore, 007.
Wow.
And that was incredible. And that became a holiday classic, which started a lot of different Christmas movies for us as well.
My daughters still talk about that. One of the times you stayed at our house in Atlanta, you were writing that, and you named characters after my daughters.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Maddie,
so cool.
Yes,
that's so cool.
It was just Maddie at that time, and she's like, "Oh my God, he made that from meeting me."
We did.
That was so funny.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Janine and I write things that are true life experiences, and
put a cubby in something. Put a cubby in something.
Cubby, by the way, is a great name.
There's got to be a Cubby in future movie.
And Leslie, of course, and Steve.
Yeah.
But Cubby's a good name. We're gonna do that. Honey, Cubby in the next script.
See, just like
I love that.
Man, that's cool.
That's so cool that you and
really
your wife
cool.
have this amazing collaboration, though. I love that.
We have a great time. We have so much fun, and we had a lot of fun making the last movie. Of course, it was unusual circumstances, as you know.
But looking at the numbers, you have shattered the Hallmark movie ratings. I'm looking at them right now for the year. Your new movie, Christmas Waltz, is the biggest movie on the network for the year. Congratulations.
I know, it's pretty awesome, huh?
Congratulations.
Woo!
Hey, when you're making a movie like that, well, I know is because of COVID. How tough was it?
Oh, it was bizarre. Well, because, first of all, you check in. I'm not used to checking into the set. Like Steve said, we just drive in. Remember the gate opens and they go right this way. This was like, go over to the hall monitor with your zapper for the temperature, put your little wristband on, right? Do you have any symptoms? Do you have any, I'm not making a joke out of it. I just wanted, it was very bizarre because I felt like I was back in school because there were so many sort of hall monitory kind of regulations. You know what I mean? Like, when you go to the drinking thing, don't touch your bottle onto the thing, get a sanitary wipe this off. But, it was very unusual. But we were lucky we got through it and nobody got sick on the shoot. And we were really fortunate because, we were,
where did you film it?
In Vancouver. So we were in Vancouver for the principal photography, and then we did the post-production in Ireland. It was a Canadian-Irish co-production. And so I'm also Irish. I'm also an Irish citizen. So we were able to, fall into that category. But it was just kind of wild, just the experience of, it wasn't it wasn't terrible, you know what I mean? But you had to really be on your, I'll be honest with you. I think it was safer on our set than pretty much anywhere.
I bet.
Because we had crews. I mean, if I touched something, there was like somebody, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It was like this crew came out of nowhere and they were constantly cleaning everything all the time. So it was really it was a very clean set.
You're going to be on, is that movie going to be on primetime this week? We're in the weekend.
Yeah, Tuesday night.
So the 8th.
Tuesday night, the 8th, 8 o'clock. It'll be back in primetime again. We're so excited that, we saw the numbers we did. We made it with a lot of love and a lot of passion. The cast is amazing. Lacey Chabert, who everybody knows from Mean Girls, Party of Five, Will Kemp from Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce and the series Rain plays the hero. JT Church plays Nicky. He won So You Think You Could Dance Junior. Dancing with the Stars Junior, and then came in second place on So You Think You Could Dance. He's an amazing young talent, and it was choreographed by Jean-Marc Jeanneret from So You Think You Could Dance. The French, the French guy, the wild French choreographer. He's incredible. So we had this fabulous team, and and just really had a great time making it, and a lot of love went into it.
What's your cameo in this movie? I know you always stick yourself in some small role.
Okay, you're not even going to believe what happened. Okay. I've got it all worked out. Big cameo. It's backstage during the big finale number. In the wings, there's supposed to be a singer go out and perform Christmas Time Without You, my song, and so it's supposed to be me. Well, I did the crossover to enter onto the stage, and then we were going to shoot a pop of me singing Christmas Time Without You. Okay, you ready for this? The playback guy couldn't find the song.
What?
Something happened. Whatever happened. Just we had a mix up. It was a mix up. We had so many songs in the film. Anyway, I had a very limited time because of COVID, cut down our shooting time, our hours, because of all the cleaning and all the different things, mandates. So I had like a 5-minute window to shoot this singer, me. Anyway, we ran out of time.
You cut it?
Well, I'm in there. If you watch closely, you'll see me cross in the background. Just look carefully, pause your DVR, and then you're going to hear Christmas Time Without You. It's a time to echoing, in the wings during the scene. You're going to hear my song. Just imagine I'm on stage singing it. Okay.
The quick capsule.
You're like Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Alfred Notchcock. I couldn't, I never made it.
Michael, you're always so busy. Are you already working on your next project?
Yes, we are. Because of COVID, Jenny and I actually wrote 3 scripts during the whole, since it all couldn't work. What else could we do? We couldn't, go anywhere. So we just started writing, and we tried to turn a negative into a positive and make it as creative as possible, constructive as possible. And so we've got a couple other projects teed up. Again, we don't know about how, where we're going to shoot it or how we got to figure that out because of the current climate. So we'll see, but definitely, we got stuff ready to go, and we should be probably rolling by January, February, I'd say.
Wow. That's going to be interesting to see because without the vaccine in full flow, everything's kind of in tentative. They're starting to shut down countries again. They're saying, don't travel here, don't travel there.
Yeah. We may have to shoot it like maybe at your house, Steve, or something. I don't know.
Let's do it.
Cubby's.
You're going to work.
Are you on a full lockdown?
Yeah, you're going to work Cubby's name into one of those projects, right?
We can't wait to see that.
Cubby's going to be in the next movie.
Well, please do. Don't put an H in there. Don't chubby by accident.
Yeah.
Make sure it's Cubby.
In the credits, do that as a joke.
Right. And we have to work on a facts of we have to work on a Facts of Life reunion. He was in 3 episodes of Facts of Life. Did you know that?
Was that pre Young and the Restless?
No, it was during Young and the Restless.
Wow.
Yeah, I played, and they actually wanted me to be a regular, but I couldn't with the CBS contract. But and George Clooney got my job. But anyway, I played Flyman, and the singer that then turned into a Vegas lounge singer.
Dude, you had a corner on the market of singers on TV shows.
Unbelievable.
I was really, that was fun. The girls are great. I had such a great time on that show.
Speaking of girls, let's go back to the 80s. Tell me about, if this were now and we had the TMZs of the world and all the social media, who would we be seeing show up with Michael Damian on the streets of Hollywood? Who were you running with in that time?
Back then?
Yeah.
Oh, Clooney, Stamos, my pals, and just gosh, who else?
You weren't on Clooney's list that he just gave everyone $1 million. He gave like 12 people $1 million.
He's the nicest guy. Let me tell you something. I ran into him, believe it or not, at the Cannes Film Festival, and I thought he was going to forget about me because we hadn't seen each other in years. And we're at a huge event. This is like, whoop, sorry. That was an earthquake here in Vegas. No. And so, we're at all of a sudden, Janine and I are at the party, this big party. It's after, Brother, We're Out Though. And so the premiere, right, at the Cannes Film Festival. And so, Janine said, "Oh, there's George. Go say hi." I'm like, "I'm not going to say hi. Come on." He's not going to, he's like, "Honey, you guys hung out. He was always at your house, parties, blah, 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 blah." I'm like, "Yeah, but that was a long time ago." He's, So I was I just said, let's just leave him alone. People are, they're all over him. All of a sudden I hear, Michael Damian! And I look over and George is like, pointing at
Oh,
me.
that's
So
so
cool.
nice.
And we had a la 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 coming together hug and did a whole thing. And that was really special. I was really touched that he did that and, remembered me. And it was really nice. And we've run into each other and since then, but that was a really special reunion that we had.
That's awesome. Who knew that he gave all those people $1 million.
Yeah.
I'd love to know that list of who those people were.
He said he slept on their couches, and so we thought maybe you were one of them, but
That would have been
Can't
nice.
talk about $1 million. Let me see. That's weird. Some money did arrive one time, and I was like, where did that come from? Where did that? Oh my God! I never thanked him. I gotta call him.
That's so funny. Well, Michael Damian's movie is on Hallmark. You can watch it. It's called Christmas Waltz. Is it
can't wait.
Christmas Waltz or just Christmas Waltz?
Just Christmas
Just
Waltz.
Christmas
Keep
Waltz.
it simple. Christmas Waltz. It's going to be on Tuesday night, 8 p.m. It's going to be on throughout the holidays as well, all the way through, into the new year. But it's fantastic working with the Hallmark Channel. They've been wonderful, great people over there. And hey, if you want to feel good, you want to have a Christmassy moment, you want to, just feel the holidays, immerse yourself in a story. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know your thoughts. I'm on Twitter, Michael Damian 1, and Instagram, The Real Michael Damian, and Michael Damian on Facebook. I'd love to hear from you because I love talking to everybody and hearing their thoughts after they see it.
Well, you are
Absolutely.
such a great guy. We want you to come on more often because you're fun. You're fun to have on, and you have such a positive vibe. You've always
You're a good
had
dude.
Thank you.
such positive energy. Michael Damian,
you.
everybody.
thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Leslie. Thanks, Cubby.
Good to
Thanks,
see you.
Steve.
Hey, quick
Rock
thing,
on!
Michael, this week, Cubby has been waiting. He's been waiting forever to do this. I sent him an email and said,
Yeah.
Michael Damian's confirmed, and he sends back, rock on. It's like, you've been waiting so
Well, I mean,
long.
that's easy, right? I had to do it. It's too easy.
Softball.
It's too
Hey,
easy.
Cubby, rock and roll, rock on.
Are you a football fan, by the way?
Love
I didn't know you were in
football.
Las Vegas.
Our Raiders.
Because you're.
Oh,
The Las
I know
Vegas.
the Jets are playing at 1 o'clock. The Jets, my Jets are about to lose to your Vegas Raiders.
Whoa.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I listen. I want the Jets to win a game this year, but I would rather not happen in Vegas. But if it does have to happen, fine. Let it
No,
happen.
I'm a Jets fan. We need to lose today. I want to get Trevor Lawrence because
you're going to get the
pick
first
in the
pick.
draft.
You're going to get the third
Yeah,
number
we
one
want Trevor
pick.
Lawrence.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Okay. Oh, this is a ploy. You guys are losing on purpose.
yeah.
Damn right.
For years.
Damn right.
That's what's funny. For
That
years.
stadium looks nice, by the way. That Vegas stadium looks nice.
Oh,
It's a
it's
shame no one
gorgeous.
can go in
Nobody's
it.
been in there, but it looks great.
Good to see you,
Yeah.
Michael. We'll see you later. Michael Damian.
Thank
You guys
you.
are
Thank
the
you,
best.
Michael.
Take care. God bless. Take care.
Thank you.